Hi, I'm Mrs. Cherry. Welcome to my kitchen art studio. We will be making many fun projects in here. I'm living in Phoenix, Arizona, and it is very hot outside right now. So I moved my studio into my kitchen table, and it works just great. So you can have a studio in your own home, working at a table also. I started the Clay Academy about 7 years ago, going to 3 different schools in the district that I used to teach in. And I would meet with students on a 4-week schedule for each session. We would make a project each week. I would bring it home, fire it in my studio, take it back to them, and then on the 4th time we met, we would glaze everything. Then I would fire it all and they would take it home. Students absolutely loved my class. They would sign up over and over again. Clay is such a fun medium to work in. The students that I worked with were elementary school age. However, any age could make any of these projects. So if you're new, a beginner, you might enjoy taking my classes also. I do have to thank Rafi, one of my students, who notified me this summer and said, Mrs. Cherry, I need to make another thing in clay. What can we do? Can you FaceTime me? How can we get together? With COVID-19, it makes it very difficult. And so I sent him a little video and he was able to make a project. And then we kind of passed off leaving projects on the end of my driveway, and I would fire them and he'd come back and pick them up and glaze them, and then I'd fire it again. And it worked out great for him. It also inspired me because I'm at that age group of 71 where I need to be careful not getting COVID-19. So I will not be able to teach in the fall as I usually do. So I thought, well, how about YouTube? I could put my lessons online. So here we go. This is a brand new medium for me. Thank you, Rafi. I hope it turns out great. If you enjoy my videos and enjoy my lessons, please let me know. You can like me at the bottom of the page. Some of the tools you are going to need if you're going to join in to my little Clay Academy. Let me point them out. I have to tilt my camera so you can see. You definitely need a surface to work on. I work on a board that's covered in cloth, and I use a canvas cloth. You could use duck cloth, is also a heavy fabric that you could use, or just a piece of material on a table will work just fine. But I can slide this in and out of this little pillowcase type thing that I have, and it's great. It doesn't move. You're also going to need a rolling pin. You're going to need a couple of boards to roll out your clay to the proper thickness. I use these with students in my classroom, and it would help them to make their projects not too thick or not too thin. You're also going to need a wire cutter, or a piece of string works just as well. This helps you to cut clay off of your big block of clay when we get that. You're also going to need some variety of different tools that you can buy at a clay supply store. All sorts of different tools they make out of wood. All of these are wonderful tools and you can buy them. You can also improvise tools. One of my favorite tools is a pencil with a dull point. I use this to sign my pieces. I also use the end to make little decorative buttons on my work. You also want a toothpick. Toothpicks come in very handy for cutting. I use the sharp end for cutting and the dull end for writing. I also use a variety of these metal-ended tools for cutting lids off. They make a nice even cut. It's like a little knife on the end. And you might want to invest in a couple of these. I also use a rib. I never use this in my classroom because it's sharp, but it comes in very handy for smoothing surfaces. You also want a pin tool. A pin tool allows you to cut, and it works just as well, if not better, than a toothpick. So I always had my students use toothpicks for cutting, but if you are being supervised by an adult, a pin tool comes in very handy. You also want to work with a cup of water. I've added clay to my water to make what is called slip. Slip and a scoring tool help you to put pieces together. It's like glue for clay. You just want a little bit of water and put some clay in there. Remember, you never want to put clay down the sink. It will mess up your plumbing. So I very rarely use slip with kids in the classroom because I didn't want to mess up the sinks in the classrooms. But once you're at home and you can do this, make sure you have a jar that you can put a lid on, and you can keep this nice to work with for a long time. Scoring tool is simply wires on the end of a little stick here. You can buy that at a ceramic supply store. I also use a garlic press. Comes in very handy for making hair on humans or texture on animals. You might want to get one of those. Another real great tool is a set of forceps. I use this to pull newspaper out of projects. Sometimes we stuff our projects with newspaper so that they don't collapse, and this allows you to get that newspaper out. Once it's dried a little bit, you can pull it out with forceps, and then you don't have to fire it in your piece. You can fire it in your piece, newspaper, but I like to pull mine out. So the main thing you're going to need is some clay. Clay can be purchased at a ceramics outlet store. And the one that I use is Marjan's Ceramics. Marjan's is located on 35th Avenue and Earl in Phoenix. And they supply you with clay, glazes, tools, anything you would need to make ceramic pieces. If you are not in Phoenix and you need a good supply store, online you can go to Blick Art Materials. That's B as in boy, L-I-C-K, Blick. And they have all of these materials also. The clay that I usually purchase for these projects is low fire. It is EM342 is the one that I use. It's very plastic and easy to work with, and it fires at a lower temperature, so it doesn't cost as much money to fire it. And you can also buy glazes. I use a concept glaze, and they come in lots of different colors. And you can get all of that online or at a ceramics outlet. So I hope you will enjoy my classes. I will be teaching you the basics of clay construction, a lot of basic techniques, and then moving on to what you can do with those techniques. I hope you will enjoy my lessons, and maybe you'll come up with some ideas of your own that you would like me to do for you. So stay tuned. This is my first time on YouTube, so I hope that you enjoy my lessons and that you will let me know how you like them. And I will be seeing you soon. Thank you.